السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. كيف حالكم جميعا يا أيها الإخوة والأخوات؟ Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam ala rasulullah amma ba'd. And this is a brief video explaining in detail our new course alert that deals with the Salatul al-Mutaddi'een wal-Mutawassiteen wal-Kibar. And this course is our free online visual course of the Salat, and it would take place 3 days a week, which would be Tuesdays, Yom Khamis, Thursdays, and Yom Sabt, Saturdays, from 10 to be half an hour, from 10 to 10:30 a.m. in the morning. And it would be through a exclusive group on Facebook, bi'ithnillah. So someone might ask, why did we say, or why did we chose the name for the particular course to be Salat lil-Mubtadi'een, or Salat lil-Mutabi'een, or the prayer for the beginners? Number one, we're going to explain what we mean by the 3 stages, how this actual course will be set up and designed. And as far as why did we chose to say a visual salat, is based off the hadith of Malik ibn Huwayrith that's collected by Imam Bukhari in his Sahih, that the noble companion Malik ibn Huwayrith radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli. He said, pray as you see me pray. So we know that from this hadith, as the ulama explained, that the hadith should be done visually. As the Prophet ﷺ, in the background of this hadith, he descended from the minbar and he proceeded to show the people how to pray. He showed them exactly how to pray. And this is why we want to do a course where we visually show you. Normally when a lot of salat classes are taught, they are taught by way of coming from either a madhahib, from one of the madhahib, from the madhabs, or they are taught via the ahadith. Salat can be approached from hadith alone, or it can be approached from learning it according to a madhab, right? And then most people will start with a beginner's book before they move to what we call a more intermediate or advanced, as Ibn Qudama have done, and we're taking his module in these 3 stages. Okay, so that's why we chose in visually. Secondly, why did we chose Salat for beginners? Meaning that we wanted to take the module, the curriculum that was set by Ibn Qudama in his fiqh book, to the Hanabila, to the Hanbali madhab, and that is that he approached fiqh from 3 points. He had a fiqh book for beginners, which was in the Hanbali fiqh course, Hanbali fiqh madhab, and then he had what we call an intermediate, and then he had that which is called advanced. So that's what we want to do with the visual. Each one of these stages will be done visually, where you will learn how to do the prayer, not just in a technical sense or a class sense where we open up the book and we're just going over the book. No, you're going to learn it by seeing it and visually seeing the prayer being performed. That's what this course is designed for. Also, if you know someone, you yourself or anyone else, it's because the prayer is one of those acts of ibadah that you're going to continually work on to perfect throughout your entire life. There are many elements of the prayer that you will learn that you don't know, and it's also the most controversial thing in regards to the prayer. There's not a position in the prayer except that there's a difference of opinion in regards to it. So we're not going to get too technical within our course, but when you get to the advanced, we will cover those different things, inshallah ta'ala, but keep in mind it will be done visually. Alright, so yes, it is a free online course. Where would it be at? On Facebook Live. We're an exclusive group. There is a one-time though. There is a small one-time registration fee to keep you true to your actual commitment of learning the actual prayer, and that fee is only $4.99. And the way you would do it, you'll pay via PayPal or you'll pay via the Cash App, and that will enter you into the link into the private group where you'll be able to be there for class to go over the steps of the prayer. We're starting from the takbir all the way into the taslim. Alright? That wudu will be separate. We're not approaching the wudu. That will be something separate. Okay? We're trying to do it exactly the way it's done. Alright, Sheikh ibn Baz, he comment real quick before we start, just so you can understand the hadith from Malik ibn Huwayrith. He commented on this hadith. He said that when Malik ibn Huwayrith said, this noble companion Huwayrith, he said that the Prophet ﷺ said, pray as you see me pray. He said that it is upon us, or it is incumbent upon us that we pray just as we just as the Prophet ﷺ prayed. In other words, we can't see the Prophet ﷺ because we weren't there. So we have to go off those who saw and who transmitted to us, and then who transmitted to them, and so forth, and you get it, down to it comes to us. So he says, meaning that according to whatever the Prophet ﷺ guarded within that prayer or preserved, and whatever he and he was upright or firm upon it, then we pray it just as he prayed. And whatever he diversified, meaning that he did sometimes and sometimes he left it off, then we understand that those things can be done once or twice, and this is indicated that it is not obligatory. It is not obligatory, and that it is recommended, and it's not considered to be from those things that are obligatory in the prayer. Whatever the Prophet ﷺ did sometimes, and sometimes he left off. Whatever he did from those things which were supererogatory and that was not obligatory, it indicates to us that those things are not of obligation. As for those things which he preserved and he constantly did it and consistently did it, then those things are, for example, like the ruku', the sujood, and the recitation. Then similar to that, then all of that is considered to what we call fard. That is an obligation. However, one must recite al-Fatiha, as we said, and he mentioned as in the pillar, and you'll learn that later. Also from that is the ruku' and the sujood. And also from that is the tasbih, those things that are said in ruku' and in sujood. And then also from that is the tashahhud, which is also tahiyyati. Other than that, from that which is well known. And the sunnah for the believer is that he pray just as the Prophet ﷺ prayed. In other words, in Salatul Fajr, the Prophet ﷺ will lengthen his recitation in Fajr just as well as in Dhuhr. And in Asr, he will lighten it, as well as in Maghrib, and sometimes he will lengthen it in Maghrib, sometimes, not all the times. And then sometimes he will, be intermediate in regards to Isha. And then the Prophet ﷺ will recite from the middle of the short sections, which start from Surah Qaf all the way into Surah Nas. He will sometimes recite. Likewise, he will recite Surah Sajda and Surah Ihsan, Surah 76, and Fajr for Jumu'ah. And he also will recite for Salatul Jumu'ah, he will recite Surah A'la and Surah Ghashiyah, Surah Jumu'ah and Surah Munafiqeen. Just as the Prophet ﷺ had done this, all of this is considered to be what we call Sunnah. And because the Prophet ﷺ done this, and then sometimes he done that, we know that this will be from those things that are not obligatory. So the mu'min, the believer, is the one who follows the Prophet ﷺ in his actions and in his statements when it comes to the prayer. And that was a short, brief explanation of what Malik ibn Huwayrith done. So how are we able to do that? We have to see it. We have to visualize that. So that's what this course will be designed. So if you or someone you know that is struggling with the prayer or need help with the prayer or like to refresh on the prayer or to get themselves up, then you direct them to this video, or you direct them to the flyer, and that way they can know how to sign up and join and deal with this online course that will be teaching the prayer from beginning to end, showing you how it's to be performed, okay, according to authentic sunnah, and it will be done step by step. Okay, we're not doing the regular traditional way of learning prayer. It's not will be a class setting. It's not will be sitting in front of people and where we'll be going from a madhab or a madhab and we'll be saying this step, this step. No, that's not going to be like that. It's going to be visual, and we're going to try to keep it to visual most as possible so that you can walk away knowing how to pray. If you need to pray right then and there, you know exactly what you need to do. That's what we want to do, inshallah ta'ala, with this course. Please spread the word. Jazakallah khairan. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakallah khairan.